Hi. Before we discuss the solutions to the IPMAT Indore VARC section, the 2021 paper, let us have a look at what this section is about and how you should approach it. Verbal ability section makes up 1/3 of the paper, and often candidates don't take this as seriously as they should. But you know what they say? Failing to plan is planning to fail. If you have not taken this section seriously enough, it is time to do so now. Familiarize yourself with what the section is about so that you can do your very best in the exam overall. This is a competitive exam. No one is just going to look at your marks in just one section. You have to clear a certain cutoff in verbal section in order to qualify. So this is not some section to be taken very lightly. The verbal section in the 2021 paper had 30 questions, and you get 30 minutes in which you give the answers to the question. So there is some time pressure. Other than this, the same marking scheme applies as in the case of quant. You get 4 marks for every correct answer, and lose 1 mark for every wrong answer. So because there is negative marking, you mustn't guess too many answers. You mustn't guess answers as far as you can. So there is time pressure, and there is also the fact that there is negative marking in the verbal section. And lastly, and more importantly, the verbal cutoffs are actually quite high. The verbal cutoffs are really high compared to the quant cutoffs. So if you are not well prepared for the section, you will be doing yourself a big disservice. So how can you prepare for this section? The first step is to know what kind of questions appear in the exam. So what kind of questions do you get in IPMAT Indore paper? You have grammar based questions. Then vocabulary based questions. Then you have a reading comprehension passage. And finally, you have paragraph based questions. The grammar questions are usually the sentence correction type. So you will be given a sentence with some part of the sentence containing an error. You have to choose among the given options and find out which part corrects the error that is given. So these are questions that you must make every effort to attempt, even if you are under time pressure. In fact, I would suggest that you attempt all the grammar questions that you can first in the paper, because these wouldn't take you so long, and you can attempt more questions if you follow the strategy of attempting all the grammar based questions first and then the vocab based questions. The vocabulary based questions are again advantages in the sense that you don't need to spend too much time to answer these questions. Vocabulary questions in IPMAT Indore, they don't give you words and simply ask you what's the meaning of the word or what is the opposite to the word. What you need to find out, what you need to do is to pick the error in the usage of the word. So vocabulary in context. That's what this section is about. You will be given 2 similar sounding words being used in different sentences, and you have to pick up the sentence in which the word has been used incorrectly. So try to look at a lot of similar sounding words and how their meanings of these words differ. So, and how these are used in sentences. That can help you to prepare well for this section. Is vocabulary in context, like I said, so you need to pick which word has not been used correctly in the given context. So other than this, you need to know some common idioms and the meanings of these idioms and how these are used in sentences. because you will have some questions based on idioms as well. The vocab based questions are something again that you should make every effort to attempt while doing the paper, because they won't take much time and you might find yourself bagging the marks quite easily. The third type of question that appears in the verbal section is reading comprehension. You have given a passage of say 300-400 words, 3-4 paragraphs, and ask 6 questions based on this. Interestingly, only 3 of these questions are based on the content of the paragraph, on the content of the passage. 3 other questions are again vocabulary based, in the sense that these questions pick up words from the passage and ask you to identify the synonym or the antonym, or give meaning for the idiom that might appear in the passage. So, if you are hard pressed for time, make sure that you at least attempt the vocab based questions in the reading comprehension section of the paper. Finally, you have paragraph based questions. In the paper that we are going to discuss, there were 2 types of paragraph based questions. First one are para jumbles, where you are given 4 sentences which are jumbled up. You have to put them back in the right order. Para jumbles are type in the answer kind of questions. Finally, you also have questions where you are given a paragraph with a missing sentence, and you have to pick an option where the sentence where you can fit in the missing sentence. These are MCQs, multiple choice questions, right? The order in which I would suggest you attempt the paper is, like I said, go for the grammar and vocabulary based questions first, because you will be able to attempt these in a shorter time. Then have a look at the paragraph based questions and the reading comprehension questions, right? Reading comprehension, if you are hard pressed for time, make sure you at least attempt the vocabulary based questions of reading comprehension. Paragraph jumbles can take a lot of time. Sometimes these paragraph jumbles are quite tricky, sometimes they are easy as well. So, paragraph based questions are the ones where you need to spend a bit more time than a minute to answer each question. So, choose your questions carefully and attempt them in this order that I have given you, and make sure you are familiar with the various types of questions. Make sure you look at previous year papers and work out a few questions on your own before attempting the paper. All the best.